A moving flashback that takes place in Chicago some 10 years prior to the main timeline, about 2015, opens the episode. Natalie Washington, a young actress, and Riri Williams, a young actress who is not given credit in the sources, are depicted as best friends who are inseparable and have lofty goals. Their chatter is full of young optimism as they tinker with devices in a garage. Riri, a tech genius already, says she wants to surpass Tony Stark, claiming, "I'm going to build something so big, Stark'll wish he thought of it first." With a lighthearted grin, Natalie responds with her own fantasy, "All I need is one night with Thor and his hammer." Riri's early brilliance and their tight friendship are established at this point, and Natalie's wit lends warmth. With a melancholy soundtrack and a final image of Natalie, the flashback foreshadows her death years later and discreetly suggests catastrophe. After Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, 2022 in the MCU timeline, changed to 2025 due to real-world release, the flashback shifts to the present. Dominique Thorne portrays Riri, a 19-year-old sophomore at MIT who is burdened by her history and her desire to uphold Tony Stark's legacy. Riri's life at MIT, genius under pressure. Riri is portrayed as a bright but overburdened student at MIT who balances her studies with her secret project, a prototype Ironheart suit that was inspired by Stark's Iron Man armor but was intended to revolutionize safety. To finance her research, she sells finished science projects to wealthy classmates who use them to cheat. This moral compromise underscores Riri's desperation and pragmatism. She isn't above breaking the law to get what she wants. Her lab scenes highlight her technical prowess. She is seen welding circuit boards and coding AI algorithms, with quick cuts of equations and schematics highlighting her talent. A pivotal incident happens during a lab presentation for the eccentric yet doubtful professor, Professor Wilkes, Jim Rash. Riri displays a microreactor that is supposed to power her suit, but it breaks down, sparking and almost catching fire. The commotion, which includes students running for shelter and sprinklers going off, highlights Riri's arrogance and the suit's unfinished state. Unimpressed, Wilkes reports her, and the administration of MIT questions her about her side project. They remove her Stark Industries research grant and expel her, citing academic dishonesty, a devastating blow. Riri's response, which combines silent rage with desperation, reveals her frailty beneath her bluster. Flying to Chicago after stealing the suit. Now that her academic career is in shambles, Riri takes a risk by breaking into her lab at night and stealing her Ironheart suit prototype. In contrast to Stark's clean designs, the suit is large and incomplete, a patchwork of exposed cables and steel plates. It is driven by a crude AI called TRV, which offers navigation but constantly malfunctions. It is voiced in a humorous, Clippy-like manner, perhaps as a tribute to or cameo for Trevor Noah. In a scene that combines humor and amazement, Riri puts on the costume and takes off from Cambridge, Massachusetts, to Chicago. The thrusters of the suit splutter, and Trevor's jokes contribute humor, but the suit is further harmed when the plane crashes into an alley in Chicago. Riri's resolve and inexperience are both evident in this scene, which is hailed for its computer-generated imagery. Riri goes back to her family's small South Side house in Chicago. Her mother, Riri Williams, Angie White, is a kind but anxious person who owns a small company, maybe a salon, given the humor. During their visit, Riri's friend Madeline, Cree Summer, a staunch member of the community, shares Riri's recent difficulties. Since losing her stepfather, Gary, and Natalie in a carjacking gone awry 5 years ago, a tragedy that molds Riri's guilt and motivation, Riri has been defiant, according to Riri. Because of the realistic dialogue, the MCU's superheroics are rooted in actual suffering. Introduction of the Hood, a criminal possibility. The episode presents Parker Robbins, also known as the Hood, Anthony Ramos, a small-time Chicago criminal with lofty goals, in parallel with Riri's story. Parker leads a heist crew targeting high-value tech, but their latest job, a break-in at a tech warehouse, goes wrong when their tech expert, Stuart, Eric Andre, triggers an alarm. Stuart's incompetence, he's shown fumbling with a laptop, muttering about hacking the mainframe, annoys Parker, who resolves to replace him. During the botched heist, Parker spots Riri's Ironheart suit streaking across the sky, its red glow catching his eye. He is intrigued and thinks she could be useful. John, Manny Montana, Parker's cousin, finds Riri scrounging parts for her suit maintenance at a junkyard. John, who is charming but dubious, takes advantage of her financial hardship by offering to pay cash for her parts. He then offers Parker's crew an ambiguous job with thousands of dollars, which would be sufficient to pay for the construction of her costume. Despite her reluctance, Riri consents to meet them at a warehouse. As the episode intensifies, John traps her in an elevator, giving the meeting a sinister twist. Parker's intentions are yet unknown, but considering the Hood's comic book connections to a magical cape, his interest in Riri suggests a tech magic confrontation.